Good morning. Well, yesterday we talked about the thought adjuster and how much God loved you to the point that He actually gave you a piece of Himself, the thought adjuster. So, this is all new information for you, and I can see the wheels turning in your mind, thinking to yourself, well, how do I know all this? Well, like I said before, I did my research, and let me start by saying this. I'm 70 years old right now, and most of my life I spent in Massachusetts. When I was a young boy, I didn't realize that I was going to become a teenager. And when I became a teenager, I didn't really think about being an adult. Once I became an adult, I just went on with business as usual, just like you and everybody else in the world, trying to provide for myself, my family, and that took up pretty much most of my time. And as far as living in Massachusetts is concerned, most of my life was spent there. We just moved to Florida here a little over a year and a half ago. Up until then, Massachusetts was my whole world. And the only other places I've been in my lifetime is I spent a couple days in Cuba and a few weeks in the Bahamas, but other than that I've never been out of the United States. And the only thing I know about England is what I see and hear on the TV. And that goes for Europe and Asia, Africa, Australia. I've only seen those places on TV. So you could theorize, well, just because it's on TV, maybe they don't exist. Well, that's not really rational thinking, is it? Because you have people coming from those places to the United States, and you know, you ask them where they came from, and they'll tell you, well, I came from Japan, or I came from Australia, or whatever, and they can tell you all about those places. So just because you've never been there doesn't mean they don't exist. And then, you know, when you look at the stars, and like for instance our moon, our astronauts went to the moon. Of course, you'll have people that say, well, that was only staged. But those are people who really want to hide from the truth. The truth is that we actually did go to the moon, and the truth is that there are space stations up there circling the Earth, and last year SpaceX sent 2 guys up there to the International Space Station, and they're still there, and I think they'll be coming home in a month or two. I'm not sure when, but they're expected to be back. So I've never been to the moon, And I've never been to the International Space Station, but yet they are there. So, my whole point of this is that just because you have never seen God doesn't mean He does not exist. And God is said in the Bible to live in paradise. And just because you've never seen paradise doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So, for today, I think I'm going to let you think upon all of that. Because tomorrow, I'm going to tell you what paradise looks like. And how do I know that? Because, number one, I have faith in God. Number two, I search for the truth in places other than the Bible. And because of my extensive search, my years of search, and all the information that I've collected, I know that God exists, and I know that paradise exists, and I found a description of paradise because I did exactly what the Bible told me to do. I searched for the truth, and the truth set me free. I'm free because I'm not afraid of death anymore. I'm free because I know that there's a life after this one that's waiting for me. I'm free because I know that spirit people are alive, and they are just as real as you and I are. Why? Because I did what the Bible told me to do. I searched for the truth, and the truth set me free. So you see, it's kind of sort of like an ostrich sticking his head in the sand. If you got your hand in the sand, all you can see is what's underneath the sand, and you see nothing else. If you read just the Bible, and you ignore the fact that the Bible tells you to search for the truth, then you're never going to see anything else. So with that, I'm going to let you think upon that. And we'll talk again tomorrow.